Hey, 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 hey! Here we are yet again with another kind of rundown, lowdown, slash review of the latest comic book from the Transformers IDW continuity, the Bold New Era. This is Cracks Beneath Your Feet, Part 4, I believe. Let's just have a quick summarize, a quick scan. No, the Cracks Beneath Your Feet, Part 5. So I'm not sure if this is the penultimate part in the Cracks Beneath Your Feet kind of portion of this series, or if it's going to be 6 parts. It's not going to be 7 parts. It feels like it's coming ahead. That's the takeoff, the initial takeaway to summarize straight away. Things are yet again picking up. This upward trajectory continues, and stuff is going down. Yeah, this new continuity. This is if you're on board or you're not, and I'm hoping that if they continue this upward trajectory, that more people will get on board. I've not particularly heard that many kind of detractions from it. I've heard a few people, who have found like the initial part quite boring and stuff like that. But I was one of them. Initially, I wasn't on board. But once I got on board, I've stayed on board, and it's kept me engaged, and it's kept me kind of wanting more and interested to see how this develops and how this continues. And I think there's something rather interesting of let me just how can I put this? The golden age of the previous Transformers IDW continuity was when we had the staff who were working on it, the writers and the editor, were all massive Transformer fans and massive Transformer nerds. And they were bringing everything to the table of what they loved about Transformers into this comic book series. And now, Brian Ruckley, who I think he had a passing knowledge of Transformers before he got involved in this, but he's, written his own books. He's written for the IDW's kind of Rogue Trooper, various different other kind of small mini-series comic books before this. But Nish, really is not a massive Transformers nerd, as it were. But he is someone who's highly intelligent, has an interest in social, political kind of territories. Also, has a keen interest in animals, so I've heard. So that'd be interesting if we ever get any of that kind of involved in this. But yeah, it's interesting to someone who goes, well, rather than going, I'm going to use this character and not really do much with it. He's more of, well, I've got this role in this comic book and it's going to get fleshed out. So, which character's biography or which character, Transformer character, um, I've read the summary of what their personality is like, will fit that role in this comic book. And it's almost without prejudice. Like I say, he wanted someone who was a bit of a berserk a character, so he chose Quake of all people. Whereas someone else, another kind of Transformer nerd, might have wanted to choose a more popular or a more A to B list character rather than like a D list Quake. But no. Brian Ruckley's like, no, this guy seems interesting, so that's who I want in my story. And it's kind of, there's that kind of, I want characters, I've got ideas of what kind of characters we need to get all this thing in motion. And so I'm just going to take people that I like, or take people I like the sound of, and it just continued from there. So it's like there's not as many preconceptions of where characters fit in a story. I mean, obviously he has his main characters that he has, that Hasbro have told him to use, but other than that, there's no really preconceptions. But he's also, for the most part, they're not acting against what the character, as it were. No matter how minor it might have been written, a one line bio on a toy back in the day, it's still sticking to it. So yeah, that's what I'm liking about this continuing. That's so the comic book itself, like I say, the story's picking up. Bumblebee's inside with the Senticon guard. Optimus Prime is meeting up with Sentinel Prime and his guys who've just landed, and Shockwave. Megatron is planning with Shockwave to kind of make the Decepticons look like the good guys, even though he's using the Rise as sort of like, oh, they're not involved with us whatsoever, honest. And he's trying to make it look like they're distancing themselves from the Rise, but in fact they're actually using the Rise as the kind of flunkies to make the Decepticons look good, as it were. So, I say it's written by Brian Ruckley. I've mentioned his name. Art is by Angel Hernandez again and Anna Malkova. I'm getting used to Angel Hernandez's abstract style. All this line work he uses, and it's getting more and more detailed, I think, every time he's out. I mean, there's some of the there's some very simple backgrounds in the first couple of issues, and yeah, even the action's kind of improving on that. Anna Malkova going from strength to strength really is, and kind of like, Megatron with a migraine, all this type of stuff. So yeah, basically Megatron finds out that Soundwave. Oh, let's just get into spoilers, shall we? If you're not read this already, it's been out a few weeks. I'm very late in doing this video. Or if you're just not planning on reading it and just like to know the story of it, we're going to go into spoilers territory. So, or just going to tell you the plot, basically. So, Sentinel Prime's turned back onto Cybertron. He's got his guys with him. So, apparently his Minister of Intelligence is Starscream, who is sarcastic, really. So that's a typical, got some nice Starscreamism there. Talking to Orion Pax, being a bit sarky. Alita's got the names of the people who've been recharging at the Rise secret base under the monument. Megatron finds out that Soundwave has refused Prowl entry to take Barricade. He's not too pleased about it. He's throwing a paddy, a fit. He's smashing tables around. This is not flipping them, just straight out, just crushing them. In the meantime, while Soundwave's getting this chewing out, he's just sat there calm as anything, really. Calm as the ocean, just let it all wash over him. He doesn't quite understand why Megatron is mad at him, really. He's like, well, no, this was obviously the logical thing to do, because, and so he's a bit baffled why Megatron is like throwing this fit, and he's just kind of just watching. He's smashing everything. It's quite a cool moment. Anyway, it shows Megatron that he's got a little device to send in Shockwave a message that only that'll blow up if anyone else other than Shockwave reads it. So that gets sent off, and because they want Shockwave to extract Barricade. Basically, I think we have I don't know, I'm not sure if this is within time or a flashback to Bumblebee and Orion Pax. So I've got to remember having a chat while Windblade is in a CR tank. So no, it is during this time. So he goes out and visits Prime. Yeah, and so I'm still not sure. I thought Bumblebee was like under orders to infiltrate the Decepticons. I'm not even sure now. I'm not even sure Bumblebee's sure if he's supposed to be. It's probably going Point Break. Sort of like, am I actually still an undercover agent, or am I just actually here for the cause now? But anyway, he finds out that stuff's going on. There's some restricted areas he's not supposed to go into, so he goes into them. But while he's there, the Rise attack the Decepticon embassy. Let's say embassy. Let's say that the Rise attack the embassy and make off with Barricade. Bumblebee gets hurt in the process. He gets electrocuted, but he'll live. So that all goes off, and Megatron basically makes a big hoo-ha, big speech about it. He's saying that the Decepticons were attacked right under the nose of the guard, the security force, the Autobot security forces. The Autobot security forces, they didn't stop it, and even them barricading them in there, no pun intended, was basically they were being treated like the villains when really they're the victims. Basically saying that the world has gone too mad now, it's gone too wrong, and it's time to get angry, to get a surging purpose or a surging tide of purpose and determination. And yeah, he's saying we're going to have an angry face. And then the Decepticon flips the Decepticon sign upside down. We've not seen this coming. And draws a face of anger on it. Dun dun dun. The new face of the Decepticons. That is where we're up to. So that's that ends that. So hopefully more shenanigans next issue, which shouldn't be too far away. Yeah, like I say, I'm enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it too. I've got the latest Ghostbuster issue. I've not even got around to reading it. It's just been a hectic time. So over that, I hope you're all doing good. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes, and because you deserve it, let's bump fish, shall we? Bisto! Fisto!